Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Amcrest 8 megapixel PoE outdoor turret camera. So this was provided to me by Amcrest, but they're not paying me for this video and they are not reviewing what I say before I post it. And also they made a coupon code for me. It's RickMake, so my channel is Rick Makes with an S. The coupon code is just RickMake without the S. And if you use that on Amazon, it gets you an additional 10% off the cost. And I'll put a link in the description of this also. So we'll just take a quick look at the outside of the box here. It says it has a 2.8mm super wide angle lens. It says security turret camera. This is the model number here. Very long, I'm not going to read that. It's a 4K camera. Let's see. It can record to Amcrest Cloud. There's an app on the App Store and Google Play. Here's the specs here. It's a 1/2.5 inch 8 megapixel Starvis CMOS sensor, and that's a Sony sensor. Resolution up to 4K. It's 3840 by 2160. Night vision up to 164 feet with one infrared LED. Has a wide dynamic range up to 120 dB. 2.8mm fixed lens. The angle of view is 112 degrees and horizontal and 69 in vertical. Manual pan tilt. It says 360 pan, 78 degree tilt. Construction is IP67 waterproof. The operating temperature is -22 to 140 F. Dimensions are 4.2 inches by 3.7 inches and the weight is 1.04 pounds. It supports H.265 and H.264 compression. So H.264 compression is super common and H.265 is becoming more common. It's a little bit better compression. The frame rate is 1 to 15 FPS in 4K and 3 megapixel is 1 to 25 or 30 FPS. It has one-way audio with a built-in mic. It supports power over Ethernet, and that's 10 or 100 base T. So this doesn't have gigabit on it, but you don't need gigabit for this. I know there's a lot of hype over gigabit. This will easily cover that. It has micro SD storage up to 128 gigabytes, local PC, NAS system, Amcrest Cloud, mobile viewing. So let's get this opened here. So we have a tool. This is a security Torx bit here. There's a drilling template, warranty card, a security notice reminding you to upgrade your firmware, quick start guide. So this is a gasket for the Ethernet cable, some anchors and screws, and here we have the camera. So this has one infrared here, LED, and I think that might be like a light sensor, I'm not completely sure, and here's the camera lens. So this would mount, you can mount that on a wall, or you can mount it on a soffit. So and then the wire here can come out the side, or you can have the wire in the wall, so it'll go either way. And then here we have the power and the Ethernet port. So I have a lot of different people that watch my videos with different experience levels, so I want to take a quick second to explain PoE and why it's good. So here we have power and Ethernet, and you can plug this into a, I don't even know what it is, probably 12 volt adapter maybe. Yeah, it says DC 12 volt. And we have Ethernet. So if you did that, everywhere you had a camera you'd have to have an outlet. But this also supports PoE, which is power over Ethernet. So there's a couple ways you can do that. One is with a PoE switch, and pardon my labels here, this isn't a PoE switch, my PoE switch is a lot bigger. For demonstration purposes, I want to say that. This is a PoE switch. So you plug Ethernet into here, and then your network and your power goes along that cable and powers this camera. So this is a good way to do it if you have a number of cameras. And this is an 8-port switch, and a lot of times you would find something like this where 4 of the ports would be PoE and 4 would not. So if you have 5 cameras, make sure you have a switch that has 5 PoE ports. The other way would be a PoE injector and just a regular switch. So this, you plug this into your switch, this into the camera, and this injects power into the Ethernet for the camera. And then you have a regular switch to do all your networking. So you can do that. Alternatively, you can just plug these two together and plug this into a power outlet. And I imagine some people do that sometimes, but typically you find it's easier just to run the Ethernet. And that's the nice thing about these, is anywhere you can run that thin Ethernet wire, you can hook a camera up. And you're running all your power, all your network. You don't have to wire in an outlet with a big box and this and that. And I mean, it can be a big pain. So PoE is really, really nice. I love it a lot. So that's different ways you can connect this. Let's look at this here. We have the Torx. So I'll take that off. So this is a wedge here. So I'm guessing when we tighten this down, this is going to wedge this. So you can position this how you want. Tighten this down and it will lock that wedge into place. Take that there. And I just want to say, this is heavy stuff here. This isn't plastic. This is actual metal, and it's it's very sturdy. I think this is. Let me see what it is. Yeah, I think this is aluminum. I tried a magnet on it. It doesn't stick. I just want to test it, but it's pretty sturdy stuff. This has like a rubber. It's kind of a hard plasticky rubber kind of material to cushion the back of that. So now we can get into the back of this thing. It takes a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, so there's a rubber gasket around here and there's a packet of desiccant, so you're not going to want to leave this open for an extended period of time. So now I'll loosen these two screws on either side. And this will lift out of here. Okay, so now that we have that off, we want to go to the SD card slot. So what you want to do is pull it down and flip it open. We can set the SD card in there. You'll see here it lines up with the little notch. Then we'll move this over and then we'll slide it up to lock it. So now the SD card is installed. We'll place the camera assembly back down. You want to line it up on the little studs here. Okay, I'm going to line the gasket back up. And this case lines up with there's a pad here. It lines up with this here. So I'll put it back down like that. And I think the silica gel stuff was maybe over here. I'll see if that fits in there. And you want to make sure everything's lined up right. And I put a little mark on there too with my pencil off camera. So there's a couple reasons why you have to dig in there to do that. And one is that this is waterproof and they can't just put like a slot on the back, and you don't want someone just come up here and like remove a screw on the outside on a little cover and pull that card out. Having it buried in there makes it more secure. And I like that high endurance card, so it's not going to wear out after a couple days. So now I can put this back on here like this, run it through this metal bracket. Like so. I'll tighten this little screw. And now this can be positioned a little bit. Turn it around here. Okay, so now the card is in here, so now it's ready to be installed. Okay, so now I'm going to get this configured. I'll plug this into Ethernet here. And this has power over Ethernet on it. So what I'd like to do is I like to configure these before I install them, because once they're up and installed, if you have some kind of issue, you have to take it down. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So I like to get it all ready to go. So I have that plugged in, and then you want to go on like a device. I like to use my iPad or my iPhone. You can use Android too, and download the Amcrest View Pro app. I'll just open that. Okay, so I want to click on the little icon up here in the upper right hand corner. I want to click on Add Device. I want to hit P2P. I want to hit the little QR code icon, and then on your tag they'll have be a QR code. So I'll bring that into view of the camera here. Okay, that entered it in. I'll hit Start Live View. Oh, I have to enter a name here. So this is 4K Turret. I'll hit Done. I'll hit Start Live View. It's going to ask for a new password. Okay, and there we go. I'm kind of upside down right now. So the camera will normally be mounted like so. So now that we have this configured, I'll go install this where I want it to be installed permanently, and then we can tweak the settings a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm at the location where I want to install this camera, and this is an older Amcrest camera. It's a 1080p camera, and it doesn't have quite as big of a range on it, so I thought this is a good application for the new camera. I'm obviously not going to throw this away. I'll repurpose this, put it somewhere else. So to take this one off, I just have to turn this ring on the outside. Okay, and here's my Ethernet with the PoE, and I'm not using the little weather boot on this because it's all protected in the soffit. So next I'll remove the old bracket. Here's the old bracket and the new bracket, and the bolt pattern does line up on this, except it was so far back. This is a wider gap here than here. I'll have to reposition this. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up here now, and you can see these like three little spots. I'm going to put the solid part towards the front. I'll leave room for the wire to come through, and I'm just going to mark all these holes. It did come with that template, and if I were on a ladder or something, I'd probably use that, but this is just overhead, so it's easy to reach. And that was a 3/32 drill bit. So now I'll attach this with some screws. So that's very secure now. I'll plug the Ethernet in. And you want to give it a little tug because once you put this in, you don't have to drag it back out. Okay, and I'm running into a problem here. My hole is so far back that I can't get this through. So what I'll do is I'll loosen this up again, and then I can slide it in and then tighten it. Okay, now I can feed all that wire back up through there. I'll stick the camera up here. And I'll start tightening it, and I want the microphone up. So what you want to do at this point is open that app up on your device, and then you can adjust the camera and tighten it down completely when you have it adjusted how you want it. Okay, so I have that positioned for now. I may change that later. The thing is, I can easily come out here and change it. I think I might need to level it just a little bit. But otherwise, I think that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to end that video here. And in my next video, we'll look at the Amcrest interface and what we can do with that for recording and event detection and things like that. So if you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.